Hi, Flo. How are you?
Hi, Rachel. I'm very good. What about you?
I'm so good. Thank you for joining me today on Inside the Industry. I am very honored and
Of
humbled to
course.
have you on, truly, because as people know, you are, as many people know, I know how I know you, is you were my teacher at the Makeup Forever Academy in New York City. You
I
were
believe were you session 1 or 2?
two,
2. Oh
literally
my
two.
God.
We were so new, but you were my complete first introduction to makeup. Like you taught me.
Yeah.
You and Jen Evans are like the pinnacle of like everything I know from like really early stages is you guys. So I'm like, this is crazy just to have you and sit
Yeah,
with
that was a good
your brain.
time.
That was the
We
best time.
are on session 17 right now.
Oh my God. See,
Well,
it's
except then we had to stop it because of the whole
because of COVID, what the midst that we're in.
energy around, the COVID. Yeah.
I mean, it's a wild, and it's crazy to me because you had you already been teaching, because I know you're a makeup artist that's very established. For people that don't know, amongst your education, you have 20 plus years under your belt for
Yes,
makeup
correct.
artistry. When
Yeah.
did you really like take the turn
And I'm
from
very
being a
young.
makeup artist? No, you look, don't get me started on how young you look. Listen, French beauty is a whole different level of skincare, and how you guys have it right. I need all the tricks. But how long have you been doing, where did you transfer over into education in your journey?
So as you say, I've been a makeup artist for like 20 plus. So I started in France because I'm French,
Yes.
as you can hear. And I mean, the makeup always been like a dream. Like most of my students, I relate to it so much when I do students interview and they say, "Oh, makeup is my passion. I used to use my mom's makeup, and the parents didn't want me to do that." It's always the same story, which was exactly the same story for me. So nothing changed after 20 years.
Still love it, still gonna do it.
Yeah. But basically, I had a passion for makeup very early age. I had no idea on if I could make a career of it, of course, and most people will not encourage you to do that because usually people are scared. They're like, no,
You
this
make
is
a
not
living off of that.
security.
Right.
You should be a lawyer.
Yeah. No.
But I was also not super like enthusiastic in school. I was doing something I didn't like because bad choice and also bad advice from people. So I was actually doing. I was going to become an accountant. But it helped. It helped.
I'm sure it does. You're able to intertwine the worlds, but
you need budgets. You need to be able to know what's coming out and what's coming in.
Yeah.
But when I find out, then they were makeup school. I quit everything and I signed up from the makeup school. And the way
just like that, you quit.
Oh yeah, just like that. Actually, a few months before my final exam.
Oh my God, she was like, I don't need it. I'm just gonna go. Wow,
it's something like I mean, I don't know for other people, but for me, when I want something, I'm pretty determined.
Yeah.
And I wasn't before because I didn't get the right advice, right? I didn't know where to go. And thanks God, my sister and we were doing a lot of dancing. We were really we were with artists all the time. I was dating a guitar player. They were like every Friday I will watch him play, and he was playing in a rock band. My sister was a percussionist in a band as well, so that she would play every Saturday. So I would be always surrounded of musicians and dancers.
Yes.
And in a dance studio, I actually met a makeup artist. My sister introduced me to her because I told my sister I wanted to do makeup because I would be looking at news anchor, and I was like, oh, I want to make them pretty, and so I knew there was something, but
it was always there.
Really
Right.
And I met Lisiane Kema in a dance studio, who actually told me she was a teacher in makeup. And I was like, wow, that's even better. She, like, I couldn't find
The
better.
best of both worlds. Yeah.
And she was very nice, very approachable. Like, if you know her, she's really like, you know, she liked grooming people. And she told me, well, actually, I need a model on Sunday at Christian Show School, because we're doing demonstration for, listen to that. She was actually doing a demo for teacher in aesthetic school. So she will be trained. She also a trainer for teacher. So it was amazing. I was like, wow,
You're teaching the teacher.
like a dream come true.
You found the jackpot with her. You were like, wow, but it helps. You need the representation.
You know, it's funny how little things like that in your journey can change your life.
Yes.
I keep thinking about that. I'm very thankful for my sister.
Yes.
She probably doesn't know and doesn't realize, but because I've been with Makeup Forever since then, and I had many different position and different experience, opportunities. So I'm very grateful for that. But yeah, this has changed my life in like this meeting. So it's really about who you meet and who can really like advise you properly.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, I'm thankful for you, because you were exactly that for me. I don't know if you remember, but there was 2 moments in school where I had that exact moment with you, with your sister, or hearing that teacher for you. We were in Union Square and we went to go do an errand. I think we went to the pro store, and it wasn't during school hours. It was after I'd already graduated. I don't know what we were doing. And because all I remember from the conversation was you literally said, you were like, well, what do you want to do now? You're done with school. What are you going to do? And I was like, oh, I don't really know. I might do theater. I might go do some TV. And you like cold stopped me, and you were just like, don't act like you have time. And I was like, oh shoot. Cause I was young, Flo. I was like 20 years old, maybe 19.
And that's one thing, like, I mean, it's a different world now, right? And it was tough at that time, more than 20 years ago, but it's tough now. There are a lot of makeup artists out there. And you invest in school, so in education and all that. So I feel like the more you wait around, the more you disconnect to it.
Yes.
You really have to be ambitious and really like, which I think you have that. And
thankfully,
like have the passion for it. And when students get out of the program, I usually sit with them, and I'm like, it's always very awkward when people leave. I don't know, like, you had them for such a long time. It's a 6 months program. And I think it was shorter with you. And I mean, with you session, the first few.
Yeah, it was a little shorter, right?
Yeah. But it's like, you don't want to let them go. I'm almost like, this is all my kids,
I know.
And so I'm like, okay,
what's going on with
plan? What's your plan? Mm-hmm. And I almost ask them, like, do a business plan, like on maybe 5 months, 6 months, 8 months, and 1 year, 2 years. Like I push them because they don't really realize they're like scared, of course. But everything is scary, So it's very important to be prepared and plan for it. And if you don't have that person who's like, kind of like
really on you, I know,
annoying almost, like the mom.
We needed it. I needed it. I was so thankful.
Everyone needed it.
Yeah, people that don't know, like you're saying, they have no idea what the journey is ahead or how distracted you could get. And now you have all these tools. You're like, God, use it now, work it now, keep trying. Because even as active or as productive as I was, still to get to certain goals or certain things within your career, it just is a game. I think makeup artistry is a journey of time. It's not ever really quick. You need a lot of people trust, and like you had said, network, and that builds over time with
absolutely.
Experience and just getting on the job. I can't build a resume overnight. I can't build a clientele overnight. So it's just, you have to be okay with the long haul and not just an overnight success with this career. And you've, lived and proven that fully.
It takes a long time unless you already have the connection and you have it easy, but you're still going to make mistakes, especially if you're young, because it also goes with maturity.
Totally.
I find sometimes the younger you are, the more difficult it is because you don't have that maturity.
Yep.
And you're behaving differently, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when for older students who already have experience, not necessarily in makeup, but in life,
Right.
It's a different game. Yeah.
It is. Do you remember me in school? Do you remember how
There
we
is no sugar. Yeah.
talked about maturity?
When you wasn't here, it was like, well, hold on, there is an empty.
Too loud in class. You asked me in one of my
too
assessments.
quiet here. Where is Richard? I definitely remember. You know what I remember the most?
Yes.
It's when we went out to celebrate.
Oh no, Floriane, that was
In
one of
the
the
bus.
No. Don't tell the people this. That was one of the first times I was out in New York City at night because I didn't go out. I went to school. I went home in Connecticut. I wasn't even in the city yet. So when I went out with all you guys, and I was like, I was so jazzed to be out at night in New York City. And that was also the first time I think I had like a glass of champagne. I thought I was, oh my God, I was living my best life. I was a nut case, which isn't that different on my school days either. So that doesn't tell me much. But yeah, you were good. When we had our.
But then after you work on movies, right? You did Aris movies, and I got very good feedback about it.
Oh, good. No, it really was incredible. I mean, I always speak the highest accolades of Makeup Forever. I think what you guys set us up with, it's a very different precedence of network, understanding, also the keep up from you guys. You always feel the like closeness in the family of coming back.
Yeah.
There are many times we've come back and I've guest spoken or helped assistant teach or assistant body painted to people. It's just such a beautiful group of people. And I know did you ever, because you also, I mean, you teach not just in New York, you teach over in Paris, and you've gone into different academies because we're international as far as makeup.
Well, I started really my teaching career in London.
Did you?
Because I used to live in London.
Oh my God, okay, see, I'm thinking Paris all through.
I had many different life.
Yes.
Because actually, you know, I have next to makeup, I have another passion. It was seeing the world.
Okay. I didn't know.
As soon as I could get out of my parents' home, I wanted to be independent. I'm an Aquarius.
Okay.
Very independent.
Yes.
And I wanted to get out and find a job. I mean, it wasn't always easy. I went to struggle and all that, but struggle makes you strong.
Yeah,
and
really, truly.
Make you grow.
Yeah.
But I wanted to see the world, so I didn't speak English very well. And to see the world, you need to speak English. So I actually moved to London without speaking English, with almost no money. I went there to meet a friend who had one of those small jobs, easy jobs, you know, and I was like going under. He was staying with a roommate in a camp where I had to hide. It was crazy because I had nowhere to go at the beginning, and that was tough, for a long time to figure it out. But you know what? It was so great. I was so free.
See, you're so.
I had no cell phone, no bank account, nothing.
I was poor, but I was happy. Isn't that crazy?
But it was so great. I mean, the only worry was trying to communicate with people. But anyway, I had so many French friends at the end. We had a group, and then we ended up all living together and in the community, and it was great. And then eventually I managed to open a bank account because they trust me. But it was not easy. But when I came to New York, even though it was easier because I went with my work and they sponsored me and all that, but they didn't want to open a bank account. And I was like, again.
Isn't that crazy too? Because I mean, I love that you said that. It takes time. But also it's not even for your money. Like so many people think I have to be established. I have to do something to start something first, right? Yeah. I have to be at a certain place before I do something. Whereas I kind of like your mindset, which is
it's very interesting.
Presently.
I mean, to go somewhere just like that, it takes some guts, right?
Oh,
I was young. I wouldn't do that now.
that's the part of the stuff with the young. You a little more. That's how I felt in school too. I was like, I felt more naive, but yet way more free and just optimistic.
That's the thing.
Everything.
That's freedom. It's really amazing. And I don't know why as we get older, we tend to get more insecurity and all that. But
either.
I mean, I guess because of health and because of danger and all that. But like to arrive in a place, to not deal with bank account and the entire system. I didn't have a phone. I had to go to a payphone to call my parents. And eventually my sister bought me nobody had cell phone, first of all. And she, in the 90s, I was in the 90s, and she got me for my birthday a cell phone, which was a giant cell phone. It's like one of those.
Hey.
But it was amazing. I was like, so cool when I had a cell phone. Like nobody had cell phone yet.
That is hysterical. Do you see a big difference from like European beauty and standards and ways of living versus American? I know we could obviously base off some basics, but as far as just career-wise, because me having you as a teacher, everything, right? I just feel like not only are your guys standards, I don't want to downplay America.
I mean, no, it's all about culture. Every country has their own culture, and thanks God. I mean, that's why I would love to go and get lost somewhere and try to adapt. I'm a kind of a survival, but everything is different. And if you want to talk about beauty, I did actually a IG live about with Makeup Forever, the comparison between American beauty and French beauty.
Oh my gosh.
It's kind of linked to the culture. American beauty, it's all about looking kind of luxurious, like I made it.
Yes.
Kind of thing.
You look rich. Yeah.
Yes, but that's what it is. Like a lot of gold, a lot of bronzer, pectin, like Jennifer Lopez kind of thing.
Yes.
When
the sun-kissed, glowy, all these things.
They're not afraid. They're not afraid of using like 6 different products as a highlighter.
Yeah, and just building them. Do you see me right now? See, I'm a part of the problem.
Exactly. Well, I have a few also.
Right, we're tasteful with it, okay?
I adapt.
Yeah, we adapt. We're fine.
If I have to use 6 products, it's fine. I use 6 products.
I'll do it if I have to. It's fine.
But yeah, and every time there is a new product, they're going to get it and all that. Yeah. So I find that fascinating. And before I did this IG Live, I never really looked into that, So and in France, it's the opposite. It's all about looking very nice, but in a very humble way.
Yes. It's almost like, and I don't want to say broken down in a bad way, because it just looks more organic and lived in my eyes. It's almost like a bitten lipstick, a stained cheek. It feels more just effortless, but there's still an okay amount of effort in there, because people still very much care, I think, about appearance. They carry themselves a certain way.
No, for sure.
It's, it does feel couture in my eyes. It always feels different, especially even Fashion Week. Have you ever worked at New York versus Paris, and do you feel a stark difference?
I worked in the Paris Fashion Weeks, but a long time ago. I did Paris and London. I work more on London Fashion Weeks, actually. But when I worked at the Fashion Week, it was more like haute couture.
Yeah.
And sometimes it was a little bit more theatrical.
Yes.
At least
push it though. I love it.
Changed. Yeah. And in London, London Fashion Week, it's all about like little bit of like very like fresh skin, and I like London style.
Yeah, I did too. I got to go over. I did for LGBTQ. I did a fashion week over there, and it was really fun. I did it through that master's program actually. With at the time it was Alex Box as like a semi-guest teacher and some other that whole course. And so I went over there and did that, and it was really fun. The energy was there, was really exciting, very different, but I mean, loved it, absorbed it. It was incredible. I feel like I want to take you back to some of like your beginning stages and days, and telling us a little bit more into your world and stuff that maybe we don't know. You'd give us a little bit of inklings, but I want to know something that I mean, we know you work hands in hands with Danny Sans a lot.
Yes.
And I think she's a very powerful figure. I've actually
Well,
talked.
one thing I didn't mention is Lisiane Kema, the lady I met in the dance studio, was actually the right hand of Danny Sans. So that's how I met Danny
You're
Sans.
weaving my stories already. I love it.
When I went to be modeling on that Sunday because she needed a model,
Yes.
Danny Sans was there. That was my first time meeting her, which I didn't know who she was. And they were at this time Makeup Forever. This was in the school Christian Chevaux.
Mm-hmm.
This is a school I did afterwards. But it was all about the art of application. It's all about technique, skills. You will watch 3 hours a demo, you know.
Yeah.
It's all about the technique and very today I don't think we really focus as much on the technique. No. But at this stage, and it was all about transformation, face painting, body painting, and they were doing face painting actually at that time. So that was my first. I was a geisha.
That's way too fitting. It's so much fun. You actually taught me. I mean, I love. Again, I do believe that, and that's almost the other thing I'm getting at too with you is. I just feel like even my standards of when I was in school and the things you taught me have slowly, not that I don't not remember them, but they're fading as far as what's in the forefront of beauty and techniques and the way of teaching. Do you remember the book you even showed me? What was it called? It was about the face. It was about anatomy. There was a certain thing. Oh my God. It was a very special book. You had it in class.
Oh, I had so many books.
Oh my gosh.
Disappeared. The books
oh. I know, and I remind it because I want to reference it. It's specifically about not ideology. It's like faceology. It's about.
It was about the anatomy of the face or something.
Yes, and I don't remember the exact title of the book, but you made it so clear as day, like you said, from a technique standpoint. And
I think one of the really the difference with Makeup Forever, and that's how I learn. And I mean, this is Danny and Lisiane. They really focus on it's almost like, you know, relooking people. You know, it's about your morphology. It's about the way your body.
Morphology. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. Oh, I needed that. Okay, good. Whew.
Yeah,
it is about that.
So it's really about customize the makeup according to your face shapes, like you will tailor made a costume, a suit, you know.
Yes.
So makeup is the same, and I think when I came to the US, I felt like people wasn't really spending as much time on that.
You feel like people were just
you don't have to really tell people you're like that or like that, because it might be also a little bit of
it's subjective.
Well, not subjective, but like if someone has like droopy eyes, you're going to use an eye technique which kind of emphasize the eyes. Yes. But you're not going to tell the client, "Oh, your eyes is droopy. I'm doing that." You know, so
no.
After, you know, you learn it that way, so you kind of groom into that kind of.
Yes.
It's almost the autopilot after.
Totally. No.
I felt like in the US they wasn't really spending too much time on that, but they were spending other time on skin. Skin is big in the US, like skin, highlight and all that.
Oh yeah, especially. Did you feel like when you first met Danny, did she take to you right away when you guys met, or did it take time to build that relationship and later?
Oh, it took a long time. Yeah. Actually, it's only when I left to London that really like she started to be getting closer, because she wanted to also go to London. Danny and I, we are very similar actually.
Very.
She's Aquarius as well. We have a lot in common, and Danny, like people, I think they kind of fly from their own wing, you know, like a little bit independent, and then she get a little bit more, you know, get some interest.
Sure.
But for me, I wanted to kind of, I met Danny and Lisiane and the entire peers. I was modeling for them all the time. I will be helping them all the time, and that's the thing. When you build a relationship, like, don't expect necessarily something in exchange.
Right.
It has to be genuine. And I was like, I mean, you know, you always exchange something. Like for me to be around them was like just great.
Right, exactly.
I was so young. I was like a sponge.
Yes. You're like, I'm just in presence of artists. I'm down for that. That's good.
Yeah. And I would do trade show. Like I remember at one point, Danny was exhausted and she dropped the entire tray of shadows and it all broke on the floor, and I would be like helping when I was supposed to go, and you know, like story like that. I had so many
Being
stories on
human with her. I was gonna say, don't let me go down that trail with you. I'm sure you have so many memories and things. But I do believe in that. I think for me, I feel like that's something that's missing nowadays, even more so than technique and understanding, is just human, genuine connection.
Yeah.
And authenticity.
I agree with that.
Yeah, when it comes to meeting people and creating a network, and not just creating a network because, like you had said, I'm going to get something from this person. Yeah. They're going to give me an opportunity, a recognition, a product, a job. It's like, do you authentically align with these people? Do you admire this person for a reason? Are you just there to,
That's very, very, very interesting what you're saying, and very true. Absolutely.
Very true, which is sad to see. And it's almost like you now being in COVID, we have all this time. We have all this built-in time where now you can really kind of start putting your, ducks in a row, if you will, as far as what your priorities are, what means the most to you, what values and stuff like that. And I hope people are being genuine as far as in the beauty industry, because we do see just so many things. I've seen a lot of beautiful, amazing, authentic, incredible artists come out of this community. But it is, I mean, since even me going to school 2012, it is adapted and changed and been so much more saturated than it ever was, even when I was starting, just with the amount of people. When you're in school, are you seeing a difference in even students and their
yes. Oh,
how does that make you feel? I feel like, because you're you know what it's for.
Yeah, but I adapt.
You do.
You cannot change that. So, I mean, things will change and it will keep changing. So, I mean, for me, I there are many things I don't like, but I'm trying to be positive and I'm trying to look at it as a growth.
Yep.
I see it a lot in the interview. Like, for example, I had like I have a questionnaire when I do interviews, and I've been doing it since 2012, I'm sure I've done it with you. Yep. And those questions were like, can you give me a name of like well-known makeup artist who's working in the industry? And at one point, nobody could give me any names except YouTuber or Instagram. And I think YouTube and Instagram have changed that.
I know.
So those are examples, and the level of information they will give me in the interview will be completely different than before. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say if it's better or not.
Exactly. No, I know.
it was I was sometimes frustrated, but I had to kind of like, listen, this is what it is.
I know.
And it's like also adapting to the cell phone in class, I used to fight with this.
Oh yeah, I think I wasn't allowed. I don't think you allowed us to have cell phones in class.
Well, but at the end, I didn't even.
I'm sure the end it got loose, but because we used it for cameras and all that kind of stuff. But I think during certain parts of class, I feel like I remember putting mine away in the locker, or you suggested it at least. You were like,
I mean, I don't think was it that big at your time? I mean,
I don't. Well,
lately, I mean, no, it's attached to it's like another arm.
I know.
You
can't shut them off.
I mean, my nephew, I remember when I was trying to like remove the screen. Yeah. He will like fell into like this lunatic.
You're murdering.
Like it's almost like a drug addict.
Oh my God, that sounds so bad when you say it like that, but yes. Yeah.
But that's what it is. It's like, come on, it's on your screen. So, like, look around. Like, he would be walking with it, we will go to Paris and he'd be like not interested in like, look around.
I know. The present things are killing me. Do you feel like, because I've also seen some makeup artists that I admire and love and that are OGs and people that have been around for 20 plus years, have been written in the game, and have watched a lot of evolution in makeup and the beauty industry, period. And I see a lot of them, some of them, going in the more and embracing that digital route. Do you feel like you're there? Do you feel like you're okay?
I'm doing it. I used to like reject Instagram for so long. I remember Jen, Juan Carlos, they would be all like every time on their phone, they're in the teacher's room, and I was like, I don't want to become like that. So and I could see everyone will be like on their Instagram, I like, and I'm like, this is,
you're like, I can't do
that's
it.
strange. Why like? Like, what you like? And then you know, I guess I'm like a sheep.
You're a follower now.
Listen, actually, a student, Kyle. You know Kyle.
Yes.
He's the one who make me feel guilty. Yeah.
Wait, Kyle Harder?
Huh?
Kyle Harder?
Not Kyle Harder.
Oh, I was like,
Kyle.
Kyle Sheehan?
Yes.
Kyle Sheehan. Okay, yeah. He's very up to date with that kind of stuff. So I'm sure he was like, get with it.
No, he was with someone and they were laughing and taking Janes in pictures. I don't know what they were doing. And I asked what you guys are doing. And they say, we are doing Snapchat.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, well, what? Snapchat.
Not in my class. No.
And I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
And that was like in 2015.
Oh my God. But you slowly, I've seen you're good at it. You're good at the digital world.
Well, it's not difficult.
Yeah. She's like, I can do this. It's fine. She's like, do you see me? I'm on Zoom right now. Okay, I have this.
You can pretend you're traveling the world.
I know. Oh my God. That's the thing. I can't weed out what's real or fake. My reality is warped. I'm like, oh, just put me like.
You can recreate an entire fake life.
Oh, yeah. No, tell me about it. You absolutely can, which is scary, but also I guess kind of exciting sometimes when you need different motivation.
No, but to become serious about it, it is important if you want to look for a job. It is definitely a good marketing tool. And that's why we get hooked to it, because it's infinite. The things you can do with it is like pretty awesome, I have to say. Yep. So yes, they make fun of me because I didn't know Snapchat, and I felt so bad. Then I was like, okay, it's time for Instagram.
I'm gonna do it.
So in 2015, I opened my first Instagram, and they actually already started tagging me, and they were like, "One day you will thank us."
Yes.
I was like, really? Why?
And now, honestly, yes.
And yeah, that's it. So that's because of my students. So it's good to be with students because they really it's good to be with younger generation, and it will be the same with younger generation. They will live exactly the same because new thing will come and they will be disconnected. It's like I'm living it with my parents right now. Like I actually show how to what was Google to my dad. He's 85 years old.
He didn't know what Google was?
85. Of course not.
I guess someone who, right. Like, why would they know that?
I'm talking about someone who was born without any TV and anything. Oh my God. They didn't have a phone. They had to go to the post office to use the phone. That's the thing. We don't realize that all this happened so quickly when the internet came out. I think the internet came out like in the 90s, Mm-hmm. So before that, it was like, pretty.
No,
very simple.
Very simple. And I just wish, and it's smart, like you say, because rather than, I like your positive take, like you usually always are, you're just positive and you know how to turn a situation and take it and make a lesson out of it, which is
because you cannot stop. I mean, unless you want to go to a caveman and you
right. What are we gonna just be stuck? We have to move with it. But geez, we're moving fast. We're moving faster than I was like, But I do love that Instagram is like an online portfolio, like you said. Have you done any form of influencing? Have you done any spokes stuff for products and people, or that's not your bag?
Well, I'm doing it not now. I've done live with around the world, comparing American makeup versus to French makeup. I did it for Julia in London. She has a small studio.
Mm-hmm.
And a shop. She used to actually be my course director, because she was a course director in the school, and I used to teach in the school.
Oh my God.
But pretty much that's it, like, I mean, I have a lot of recording that I could post.
Yes.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, you have content for days. I'm never ever gonna question.
I have a lot of content.
You have content for days, and I still, walking into the Makeup Forever Pro studio, anytime I see your work on the big canvases, I'm like, this is insane. It's just like your portfolio is live.
20 years plus, and we didn't have all that. I wish I could take pictures also of all the crazy places I've been,
See, I know. See, but you're also good like that, because as far as you traveling, and you're very good at integrating your life with art, and you're taking it, because for me, if I think Floriane, again, many facets of makeup, but I immediately think body painting, because I also view you as an artist, the way you're able to draw, how you understand shapes and layering and colors and textures. That's just me. Somebody might think of you as a beauty person or SFX or old age or period, because you do it and you teach it all, and impeccably well.
For me, makeup is a whole, it's like, I wanted to be, when I was looking to be a makeup artist, it wasn't only about beauty. It was actually, one of my dreams was to move to Los Angeles and work in special effects studio.
I didn't know that.
After, you go to different,
so you like getting
European have that dream. We see LA film studio, like
yes.
But and then when I moved to New York, I actually was doing a lot of body painting, and people thought I was just a body painter. So I had to reshow and reinvent myself in the beauty world. I do everything, and right now I do a lot of course with Makeup Forever online in FX. And I quite enjoy redoing effects, actually.
Yes. Do you guys do the movies? Do you still make a scary movie in class?
No. Oh my God. Those were
the best. Oh my God. Because you made us act, and you were very like, look, act, don't care about being pretty. I have a very hard time with special effects.
So this was really like my idea. Because for me, makeup school, they don't teach enough. It's one thing to teach the technique, but then you get out and you're like, okay, you look at the movie and you're like, who are you? Shall I speak to you? I remember when I worked in the movie, I was so intimidating by the entire crew, and I mean, that's many years ago, and I felt like I didn't get that preparation for like when you're on set. So that's why with Ari, being Ari, very original, and he's very good at that. We wanted to kind of have him come to the school and make a movie.
Right. No,
and so everyone will have a different role. One will be the assistant director. One will be the so I've been told, like, but this is a makeup school. It doesn't matter.
Separate. Like, we need
part of the learning, and it's not about the technique only always. And technique, of course, you have to do it, but
but I know how to
really learning about. And we did some crazy story.
Hilarious. Cracked me up. I saw the book of all the images. I'll have to send it to you.
And you guys had to come up with a story as well.
We had to create it.
It was 360 degrees in a small scale, of course, but we had to come up with the script. Who wanted to be the actors? Were you one of the actors?
I think I did. I think Colleen and Nadine acted in it.
Oh, Colleen Bologna. The sandwich,
She acted like an old man.
This is one of the best. I have the CD.
Oh my God, you're gonna have to show it to me sometime, because it is hysterical. But I agree, and it's needed, because I then left. You gave us firsthand set experience, which is just as valuable as you're saying as the technique. product understanding, and also the whole business side. You guys taught us, I think people forget about that as well. And we learned business cards, websites, all that kind of stuff with you guys.
Well, that's all the things I didn't have, and I wish I had, basically. So, of course, like the school I did, you came out with amazing technique and skills. But what does it do if you don't know how to like sell yourself or
be a brand.
Or speak to people? Obviously, you don't have that problem.
What? No, I hate talking to people. It's so crazy.
Oh yeah, right. And how to behave, like if you're assisting, like you have to shut up. You have to put your phone away and be focused.
Yes.
So yeah, all those things like I mean, I made mistake when I started, which I wish I could have been a little bit more prepared. Right. But it's okay. It's all part of the learning. Absolutely. But this should be also those kind of things. Details should be in the.
I agree heavily, and hopefully people take that and implicate it if they're not getting it in school somewhere else. So they do get that. Do you feel like if there's one lesson you could give your students, or maybe even yourself, like you're saying, just what is one of the most valuable things to learn in becoming a makeup artist? What do you think is one of these?
Yes, we touched on it just 3 minutes ago. It's like really be prepared, to do makeup, but also like knowing what the industry is like, and also be able to be humble.
Yeah, that's a tough one for some people, believe it or not, Flo.
Yeah, but
I don't know why,
but some people manage to get things their way also.
True.
So and like just sense the opportunity and sense the people. You also, I think, have to be people friendly.
I agree because some people, and I like him, love his work, but there are people. Kabuki doesn't really speak.
Yeah,
he's a people person, but he has a demeanor when he works, yet of course he's like an icon in our industry, so he is like a caliber of work and artistry. But I always wonder, I'm like, I wonder if you start getting hired sometimes for different things, because I also know makeup artists that are like, oh, I don't like people, and I'm like, how do you not like people, but you're a makeup artist? And they're like, oh, but I love the art. I like the canvas, but I really don't like talking to people. I don't really want to, do that whole bit of it, but I like that. And I'm always confused. But like you're saying, some people make a lane for themselves and they're able to do it and do it really well.
Yeah.
But I guess it's to the individual, because I'm like, oh my God, I get too friendly.
You have to see how they started and Kabuki was a club kid, right? So it's kind of, I guess, with his artistry, he made a name for yourself. But when nobody knows you, where do you start? If you're like very cold and don't talk to people,
it almost
it's not possible, but it might be more difficult.
Yeah. I agree with that.
There are other factors which come in.
Yes.
And
no, you're
patient.
right.
Be patient and be mature.
Yeah. She said, be mature. Rachel, I have to write that one down. Be mature and be a little bit more patient. not those things.
But you have different pro and cons. We cannot be 100%. So
no. Sometimes we get certain things.
If I have to give to go back to your question.
Yes.
I think if I need to give an advice to students and everybody in general, it's really be aware of yourself.
Yeah.
Be aware of your pro and cons, and that you can monitor. Monitor what you should turn down or turn up.
I had to learn. So it's a very wise
lesson. With a little bit with the journey, and your experience in life and.
Yeah, no, it really does. It's interesting. We've talked about that before on my podcast with some other people, and especially when you have a loud personality, or your way to comfort a client is by being super interactive with them. But like you had said, you have to learn how to read your environment. Learn, is that what my actor needs from me right now, or my model or my client or whomever, or do I need to put that on the back burner and subdue it not change yourself, not erase it and become this new person, but what traits of myself do I need to bring forward, and then some need to pull back in a different room. You just have to be able to adapt, be a chameleon in that sense, and feel that energy. Because if you're just a sore thumb and you're causing now a distraction because everyone's in a certain demeanor and you're just loud and you're being seen when you really shouldn't be, and you're being heard when you shouldn't be, it is distracting. And it even if you're a wonderful artist, it can take away the
shooting yourself in the foot.
Right. It's a mixed bag there. But yeah, no, I love that. Is there anything we don't really know about you, even as a personal person?
I mean, there are lots.
No, not that kind of podcast. We're not going there. She's like,
how long do we have?
Okay, so I want your whole childhood. I want your worst. No. No, I guess maybe give me something in your earlier stages, like maybe let's say your first 5 or 10 years of makeup. Is there a standout moment for you that was either maybe your proudest or even your most embarrassing? Is there something you did? I could tell you something I did on set that I was like, oh my God, I learned a big lesson on it, but I wish I didn't do it. Like, I just was an unthoughtless moment. I think I went and touched somebody's airbrush machine. I was assisting, and I touched somebody's airbrush machine because a model came up to me and was like,
so you want to know a mistake I did when I started? Like a faux pas?
Mine's a faux pas. Mine's a mistake. Yours doesn't have to be. I have a long list of mistakes, but you might.
Okay, I have a story. It's not as
give it to me.
When I was in London, I was the store manager at one point.
Yes.
And I had a client called Isabella Blow. She's actually pretty well known. Unfortunately, she passed many years ago. But she was a big fashion icon. I didn't know who she was, and I ended up doing her makeup. And again, it linked back to like she liked me because I wasn't expecting anything from her. That woman was surrounded of shark.
Yeah.
But anyway, one day, so we became friends. She was pretty intense and very eccentric. And if you just Google her and you see, she discovered McQueen, Alexander McQueen, and she will be always wearing McQueen clothes and Philip Tracy's hat and McQueen shoes and all that. And she will have Swarovski. She got all those sponsorship. And she came, so we will close the shop around 7 p.m., right? And usually, you know how it is, like 7 p.m., you want to be like out on the door. But she would be the kind of person, she would never call to get her makeup done, like she will come anytime. One day we had a shower there. One day she came for a shower because she was coming out from a party and she had to go somewhere else.
She was like
that was a kind of intensity, but you know what? I liked it, and I wanted. I was controlling her a little bit with the boundaries, but I wanted her to feel really comfortable. So, I went to her house. She was the fashion director for Tatler magazine at that time, and she took me to Venice to work on the fashion story and all that. She really gave me exposure of the fashion.
Yeah.
But one day at 7 p.m., she knocked. I already locked the door, right? Because I had to count the money. And she knocked at the door, and I see her.
You're like, we're close.
And then you know who was next to her? It was Grace Jones. So I opened the door, obviously, and they came. They were so high in energy.
Thank you, energy.
and then it was a storm. So it was only me and those two women, and they would be playing with every single products and all that. And I felt like, obviously, celebrity Grace Jones, I had to kind of give her few products to try out because it's Grace Jones, right? And she's amazing, and she needs to try our products.
Yes.
But I didn't have the authority for that, so I called the PR lady who was working part-time for Makeup Forever, and she just had a baby. She was very conservative, and I was like, hi, her name was Kate. Okay, listen, Grace Jones is here. Can I can I give her? She'd like to try a few products, and it's almost she didn't believe me. Like
It's
she's
like,
like, Grace Jones is there. Yes, Grace Jones is there, and she was just next to me and very loud. And she's like, give me the phone, and she grabbed the phone and she started to have like, oh, because Grace Jones is also like super, diva-ish.
yes,
And the
commands the room.
entire thing was totally like science fiction. It was so, and
Not real.
so of course she passed me Kate. I was like, okay, make a list. No, no, no. And I'm like, okay, Kate, thank you. And then I remember we had a bottle of champagne in the fridge. So I cracked the champagne, and we had a little party in the shop with Chris, John, and Isabella.
That is insane. See, I thought you were
That's
just
a good
giving
story.
me a little. No, that's a great story. I didn't know that. I didn't know you basically partied with and catered to.
Nobody knows, by the way. It's like it's one of those like snapshot of your life. You're like, okay, this happened. Well, I mean, well, I'm not going to be like, hey, I had a.
Right. You don't put that on the resume. So this one time, if it means anything.
No, it stay in your head, and it's like.
But those are the best. See, that's that when you're saying the thing with makeup, one of your favorite parts is getting to travel the world and go in different places. That right there in the moment you just described is one of my all-time favorite things about our industry. Is just we are in the most unexpected places sometimes with the craziest, could be the most, in your case, iconic people, where you're like, how is this happening? Like,
you can do makeup in many. When I was in France, I used to work for the French ministry, finance. But like they had a full studio, like they were producing film, like advertising, or like they had this pianist. They wanted to make a movie out of him, and of course they had the best equipment paid by taxpayer. And
don't forget that part.
It was like one of my first job, and I just sent a resume, and and I was surrounded of like very different people every time. And one of the job I did for them, it was like to be in one of the best chocolaterie factory in France somewhere, and the guy who was making the chocolate was a famous chef, and I had to groom him like almost nothing. And I was grooming him next. They wasn't doing only chocolate. Next to me, there were this guy making like pork sausage, pudding.
No.
It was so gross. I did like it was like made with blood and in the little skin. And I was like grooming this person, and it was so bizarre.
And you're like, why is the, and it's the I would
another story which is crazy was with James Vincent on Fashion Week. We were doing a show for Marco, and it was all about drag queens and beautiful transformers, and they were like so diva-ish and like all naked as well with those perfect bodies. And next, like we had one room which was split for two shows. So you had this show, and I was at the border of those two shows, backstage, right? And then the other side was a dog show, but like those mini dog show, like mini with like princesses. They had little crown, little pink, and you had those beautiful like blonde women, like looking like Barbie,
like walking them.
Yeah, with
show
like
dogs?
big pink satin dress and a lot of shine. Totally different world. It was so funny.
And you're just sitting there like,
it was great. I love that.
Yeah.
It's like being in two different countries almost.
Yes. It is crazy. It makes life in those like split-second moments, the possibilities feel endless. Because you're like, if I can be here and this is happening, people are doing this, and I'm in this space, you just energetically feel like I could go anywhere and do anything. And it's kismet. I love it. That's crazy, Floriane.
That was good stories, right?
Those are incredible stories.
Just remember as I talk to you.
Yes, exactly. Oh my God. I guess my last question for you would be, is there in the next 5 years, what do you feel like your career looks like for you?
Good questions. Huh?
She's like, I'm on pause for a year, so there's that.
We're all on pause right
We
now.
all are, yes.
I'm on pause too. I mean, right now we're doing online classes, and this is something we have developed on the, like.
Yeah, we have to adapt
From
quickly.
one day to the other,
Yes.
like everybody else.
Are you
And
fully teaching courses?
huh?
You're fully teaching courses like Make Up Forever, the program. Are people still enlisting in the academy and they're doing it online?
So we actually it's different curriculum. We had to write a different. No, it cannot be the same.
Yeah.
I mean, we're taking curriculum from the master program and the intensive, but it's condensed.
Yes.
We moved the academy. We're not on Broadway anymore.
What?
Yeah.
When did that happen?
It just happened. Lately.
Right. I would assume maybe.
Well, it's happened. Then we didn't renew
the lease.
The lease, and we are going to have the academy, the pro studio.
Get out.
Yeah.
Wait, how? On the upper top?
Upper top, we're going to do construction, and there is a new plan. Yeah. So this is all happening while we're doing online course. The thing is, you have to jump on those opportunities, and you have to. It's really a time to reset.
Exactly.
And look at things differently.
It's almost like we've become more innovative and almost, to be honest, I would almost say a little bit more purposeful, because there's so many things. I mean, people joke, of course, online. They're saying, all the meetings that we had to do in person, it could have been a quick, Zoom meeting. And so many people are like, why can't I just work from home? Because so many jobs are able to be done from home.
Yeah.
But I mean, the experience of teaching, and I think the hands-on education just speaks worlds and is needed. But it is wild what we can adapt to do when you have to, and what can still be done in times like this, which is.
I still prefer in-person teaching.
I do too. I need the hands-on. I need the energy. I need to be going someplace to get that work done and separate it outside of other things.
So hopefully, I hope we get out of this situation pretty quickly.
I do too. Are you going to be a teacher for the rest of your life? Will you forever educate?
Oh yeah. To go back to your question. I don't think so. I would like to do more like personal project.
Okay.
I like to paint as well, not necessarily makeup, but I want to do more handicraft things.
That doesn't surprise me.
I move out to Brooklyn as well. I'm not in Brooklyn anymore. I'm in New Jersey, and I'm hoping to
new things.
Reset. I mean, that's the thing. You need to adapt.
Yeah, you really.
All that travel I did, I can adapt, and I can jump on like, okay, well, that's.
It doesn't affect you as much. It's like the norm.
When you don't have the opportunity, you keep like you in standby, but life is not in standby. It's always moving. So,
right.
I'm hoping to get a bigger place so I can get some more arts. But I like to do more photo shoot and perhaps working on movie set.
I love it.
Effects.
Well, I may or may not, I don't want to put my foot in my whole mouth, but I'm planning on, talking of change, moving to LA. I think that's where my next step of
my dream.
Yeah. So I'm taking your dream and I'm running away. Yeah.
Do it, girl.
Yes, but see, if I'm there now, I'm just going to be calling you. Now that I know you want to be doing, I'm going to be like,
you have to try. If it doesn't work, you can come back. No problem.
Exactly.
But you need to try some. Yeah, definitely.
Exactly. It's what we got to do. We got to make moves. Well, I love getting to hear you tell me about all your stories, your education. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
No, it's really my honor.
When I come back to New York, we can all have a drink, a burrito, and saying like, what a crazy time we just had.
I am hoping that it is exactly that. It just wraps up soon enough and we'll all be back to scheduled programming. My God. Well, yes. Well, I will talk to you very soon. Let me know when all this. I hope you're well. And thank you again so much, Flo, for coming on.
Thank you. Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you. We'll see you.